Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. See me here at Sammy J Stitches, and it is time for a new Flosstube week. Flosstube is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Welcome back. I think this is probably going to be a super short one also, but everybody seems to be fairly okay with that. Let me turn off my phone before it keeps making noise. Group chat. Y'all know how that goes? Okay, so today is Sunday, July 25th. I should have recorded last night, but we got really busy unpacking boxes. So, for those that kind of know what's going on, I tried to help my mother out for a while, and we still have some of her boxes. Anyways, we're going through. So, okay, where to start? I don't have my book with me to tell me like how many stitches or which projects I worked on when, so I'm just going to show you each of the projects. I need to actually probably update my planner because I've been slacking in that department. I mean, okay, so I'm driving and I'm looking at wells and I'm doing different things, and then I get to a place where maybe there's some traffic so I can radar speeders, or I need a break from the driving. And I sit for 30, 40 minutes and stitch. I spend all that time stitching. I grab it from the passenger seat, I start stitching on it, I set it down in the passenger seat, and I go. And so that doesn't leave a lot of time for, let me get out my planner and write down how many stitches I've done. So I'm depending kind of heavily on my counter app that I have. I have it on my iPad, so I can split screen. I really need to do a tutorial. I'm going to do it eventually. I'm going to do it. I split screen between Goodreader, which is what, Good Notes, which is what I use for my pattern, and this counter app right here. You can split screen it on an iPad, so when I highlight, I just tap the counter on the side, and it looks like this. And if I come in here and I click on, this was when I worked on Garden Prelude. I'm not quite sure why I counted it on my phone instead of on my iPad. I think I might have been watching YouTube, because then if I'm watching YouTube, because it doesn't do the screen in screen or picture in picture, I have to have it as my second screen and not a counter. So I think that's what was going on, because I didn't have any internet. Did I work on that this week? Yeah, it's in here. Never mind. Okay. So then I click on it, and I can come over here to this little, you can click or whatever, but I can also come over to this little book, and it will tell me like Wednesday, July 21st, I did 78 stitches. It shows me like every time I click the clicker. Tuesday, July 20th, I did 400 and something. Yeah. So that's how when I go back to update my numbers and stuff, that's what I do, is I pull that up. So anyways, let's start with Garden Prelude, shall we? Because I do know that this one was the beginning of the week, because it was my focus piece for Crystal Academy. It was for class number 5. Is there 5 classes or 6? It's 5 or 6. It's the last class of the first set. So then we're going to take a little break. We're going to have a field trip of some sort. I don't think they've exactly explained that to us yet. And then we will do that same set of 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure it's 5 classes, over again. Those same 5 projects, unless you finished a project and have to move on. Okay, so this one is Garden Prelude for Mirabilia. And it looks like that. Get it up close and personal for you. So I decided I wanted to do the girl and the flowers, but I don't want to do the arches. So that's why I bought this fabric. It's a Sunny Dyes fabric in Twilight Meadow. It's a 32 count Lugana. And so I loved, it made it look like the flowers are sitting kind of like on a hill. So they don't look just random, and I mean, they still do, let's be honest, but the idea is that I don't have just flowers float in the middle of nowhere. The green on the bottom is supposed to make them look like they are on top of a hill. And then the girl is standing in the forefront of them. And they're kind of maybe behind her a little ways, because I think she's going to come all the way down here, you know. Oh, she's going to go all the way to the edge. I don't know if I didn't start in the where I originally counted or what I did math-wise, but Garden Prelude is going to come down. I think there's 2, like somewhere over here, it goes 2 stitches further than this last stitch. So, I mean, it is like right there on the edge. I actually need to, I'm going to set this one to the side. I'm not going to put it up because I need to pull out my sewing machine and sew a piece of fabric to the bottom. One, so that to help with the fraying, because as you can see, it's already fraying some, and I don't want to lose any more ground than I've got. But also because it will help it fit into a Q-snap better, or it'll have edge to go into a Q-snap so that I'm not right up against the thing. So that is where she's at. I'm starting to get dressed down there. It's more of a ribbon coming off of her dress right now, and the flowers, and it's so gorgeous. So that's where I got on that one. So and this is what she looks like in case you don't know. I forgot I printed out a bunch of these cards. Now, what's going to be fun is when I get here, you see where that arch is? I'm going to have to basically delete the arch and move the flowers over. That's going to be fun. But I'll figure it out. I will. And I have decided I love water lilies. Is that what I've got? Yeah. Karen water lilies. These stitch so beautiful. They're 12-ply silk, imported from Italy. They are super smooth stitching with them. So that was my birthday start last year. Pretty sure last year. Yeah, I think so. So that's one of the reasons I planned it to be my last class, because it put it closest to my birthday. Oh my goodness, that's scary thinking. Okay, so it is a week and 2 days from my birthday currently. So I knew I wasn't going to be, well, I mean, there's still a chance I could work on it for my birthday, depending on what the field trip entitles, but I wanted, that's why I put it as close to my birthday as possible. Okay, so then I worked on at some point. The other thing that I've done, I have to kind of, you'll know that I tend to like to have all of my projects with me like all the time. And so I used to carry this big, and you can kind of see the edge of it, huge Mary Poppins bag with literally every one of my projects in it in my trunk. That way at any given time I could walk out there, switch projects, have whatever I needed. I cannot do that with my current job. I really need to limit to like a bag or 2. So right now I have one cross stitch bag. The cat is trying to get under the door. One cross stitch bag and my purse that has like my iPad and stuff in it. So what I did is in that cross stitch bag I have my zombie run pieces, so that if at any point I have a few minutes and want to work on one of those, I've got them with me. And then I will pick a bag with a couple projects in it. And that way I have a couple things to choose from, but I'm kind of limiting myself. So on my day off yesterday, I prepped the bag for the whole week. I know what my work schedule is this week. I prepped my bag. Technically this week, not for the whole week, just for the 3 days I work, because we're going out of town on Thursday, and I'm meeting up with some stitchy friends, so I may have to put the Mary Poppins bag back together. We'll see. I do that, and then I'm not going to touch any of them, or hardly any of them, Anyway, so I had a bag next to me with 3 whips in it. The first one I pulled out, I didn't have any flosses in the bag, and I didn't have my floss box with me, so it had to wait. It's still waiting, actually. I finally pulled the floss yesterday. So the first one I pulled out was Shores of Hawkrun Hollow. And remember, I'm not getting as much stitching time in the truck, so right now my focus on any whip I pull out is 200 stitches. Because I'm doing Lucy's birthday event, which is 50 and Fabulous. She chose, I think she originally said she was going to do 50 new starts and then changed it to 50 of something else. But anyway, I had 58 whips when I started. I have 57 now. And I said, I'm going to pull out each of my whips and put a minimum of 200 in it between June 1st and August 15th. So I don't have my books. I don't know where I'm at on that list. I think I'm about halfway, maybe. I'll go pull it in a second and we'll talk about it, but it's going really well. So I just put 200 stitches down here in this full coverage practically area. I'm doing the solid stitching, so when I go to fill in with this black stitches, it'll go really quick because I'm just filling in the writing. So that's where it's at. I am not doing the entire piece. I'm only doing technically 3 blocks, realistically 4 blocks. I don't know how that works. Anyways, I'm doing 2 of the small blocks and the 1 middle long block that will basically equal the 2 smaller blocks. So, it'll just be a square. Because I felt like those were the most relevant. I'm making this for someone, as kind of a memorial piece to their dad who was in the Navy. And, oh, I can show you a picture. And so it was the blocks I felt like were most relevant. Plus, I didn't want the entire piece because, 1, she probably wouldn't like the aesthetic. And 2, I just blinked. It not having such a big piece. Anyway, so here's the full piece. And this is one of my favorite blocks, but the saying on it makes it sound like a spouse or a lover or something like that. And I'm making it for this person's dad. So I felt like, maybe not. So I started with this block and it says, light the way, come what may. So, and she loves lighthouses. That's her favorite thing. So that one was a must. Plus I felt like what it says, is very genuine. So, and then the block I'm working on right now is this one. And it says, in memory of, and it says Lieutenant Jacob Pomeroy, anchored in the haven of rest, May 7th, 1745. So, and that's another reason I kind of really need to be able to spend time with this one when I'm working on it, because I've got to change the date and then I've got to change the name, and I've got to find out what his rank was. I may just have to put his name. I'm not sure his rank will fit there because like he just has lieutenant, which is LT. But if it's something else that would be longer than 2 letters, it might become a problem. And I'm not sure, it doesn't really give you, like, if you wanted to change the wording, the font. So anyways, those are, and then below it, I'm going to put the ship. And it says, I will wait for you. Which, again, because he has passed, it is sweet. So, and because he was part of the Navy, the nautical theme is very relevant. Look at me getting all emotional. I mean, he's related. I know him well, but he is my husband's grandfather. Anyway, I think I'm just always a big ball of upset because we've lost so many people in our family in the past year and just in the world in general. It feels like every time you turn around, you're hearing about somebody super awesome who is no longer with us. And it sucks. I know that death is a part of life, but it doesn't make you miss them any less. Even people I don't necessarily know personally, I'm like, man, we're going to miss something about them. So anyway, moving on. This might not be as short as I thought, because I'm chatty today. I need to get ready for work. I mean, I'm mostly ready, but. Okay, so the next one I pulled out, and this one was kind of funny, because I pulled it out on Friday. Yeah, because Garden Prelude took me the better half of the beginning of the week. I wasn't stitching very much. My internet was out. All the things. So, my first night of work, which was Wednesday, we pulled out Shores of Hawkrun Hollow. I had to kind of finish it on Thursday because I didn't get the full 200 stitches. I started a new area this week, and so I'm having to learn all over again. Everything that I learned, because the first few days of the first week, I didn't get a lot of stitching done because I'm trying to learn a whole lot and get enough of a feel for it to know where I can take a little break at, where, it's most useful to take a break at. Because if there's a rig nearby, people could be speeding down the road. Well, if I'm taking a break, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm doing it so that, yeah, I may be sitting there stitching, but if a truck starts to come down the road, I can put my stitching down, I can radar, I can make sure they're not speeding. So a useful break. And that's what I know. Once I'm more used to the job, I'll get more of those. But right now I'm still learning. So like that week, it took a couple days of not getting very much stitching to learn where and when and all that. And then my stitching started picking up each of the nights that I was more comfortable. And so it's kind of going the same way with this job. So I only got like 130, 40 stitches that first night. I finished it off the second night, and then I worked on Anzac for a little bit. I'm saving Anzac till the end for a reason. And so that was Thursday night. Well, Friday night, in case you're unaware, I run a group called Virtual Stitchers, and it's a constantly open Zoom room where at any point in time, there could be a stitcher in there wanting company. It's just a way for people to connect. And Friday nights is our happening time. We easily have 20 to 30 people on a Friday night. It can be a little bit overwhelming. So if it's your first time, sorry, my husband texted me. If it's your first time going, I wouldn't necessarily recommend a Friday night. It can be overwhelming because there's so many people that spend every Friday together communicating with each other. Sometimes there's inside stories that you may not understand. Sometimes people are talking over one another. It can be a bit overwhelming. I don't often go to Friday nights, to be honest. We do have 2 Zoom rooms, so if you do decide to join on a Friday night and you're like, whoa, too many people, can't handle it, there's a second room you could go into that will have a few people in it that enjoy that Friday nights is their night, but they can't do the overwhelmingness. And I forgot what I totally blinked. Either way, if you decide to start in room 2, start in room 1, come on a Saturday, Sunday, whatever, everybody's going to be very welcoming. They're going to ask you your name. They're going to ask you what you're stitching on. And then they're going to let you sit back and get comfortable. They want you to feel welcome. They want you to feel included. But then they also want to give you the time to adjust. Not feel like everybody wants to talk to me. Oh my God. So at least that is the frame that I have set forward. It should happen most of the time. Sometimes chat is a little too busy and somebody will sneak in and we miss pulling them into the conversation immediately, but it doesn't happen very often. At least it better not. So anyway, Friday night, I decided to join room 1 and stick with it as long as my anxiety would allow me to. So I pulled out this specific piece because I thought it was mildly entertaining, because especially something we do is when there's a big crowd, we will do what we call roll call, and we'll go through each person individually and ask them to show what they're working on while the whole group is there, you know, instead of somebody coming in and be like, what's everybody working on? Because when we do that, everybody tries to talk at once, and this way we got somebody going one person at a time. Anyway, and I knew this would happen, so I pulled out this little Etsy pattern a friend sent me, and it's called Ew, People. It kind of cuts off, but anyway, it is super cute. So cute. And so I thought it'd be funny. I was like, since I don't normally people this much, it was a bad idea though, because actually I'm not sure I've gotten my 200 in on this. I pulled it off without thinking about it. But anyway, here's where she's at. This is for Lexi. She was so excited about this pattern. I was like, this will be a really good idea because it's mostly block stitching. I don't really have to think about it. I don't have to look at the pattern too much. The problem is I didn't have a hoop with me. This isn't really big enough for any of my Q-snaps, and so it didn't hold it tight. And when it comes to linen, I need it held tight because those slubs really get me, or the movement bothers me. God, it's so cute. So I may need to go and throw in like 30 stitches or something to this tonight, but so yeah, I'll take this to work with me just in case, because I'm pretty sure I didn't finish. So yeah, so cute. And this is on 28 count linen in Hecate from Under the Sea Fabrics, which is, it is very vibrant colorway. It really pops. I love it, but sometimes it can be hard to find stuff to go on it because it's so vibrant. So something like this, I felt like works really well. Or if you do something monochromatic, it would work really well on this, but I think she will pop on that fabric because, you know, all the bright colors. And I like that her horn is part of the rainbow color and not just like white and shiny. Although I might use the toile since that's red and blue and make it sparkly. So, just thought of that. All right, and then last night I worked on 2 pieces because I was just trying to get 200 stitches into each. Also, I worked on Anzac a lot yesterday, but we'll, again, waiting till the end for Anzac. Because I work on it more often than everything else, because it's my extra credit piece for Crystal Academy. It's also my zombie run, and it well and truly is my main focus at this point because I'm so in love with it and I'm getting barely close to a finish. So, spoiler alert, me saving it till the end is not because it's finished. All right, so I pulled out this project because it has 2 on it. The fabric has 2 on it. And I was like, okay, well that, you know, will make it move a little faster. Anyway, first is Tired Trio. It's the little sloths. It's so cute. And this one in particular, I was like, okay, batch stitching. So if I work on the tree over here, it's just one color, go, 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 go. Now I did get distracted and I had to do the flower. I still need to put like 2 stitches in there, but I had to do the flower. It was cute. Oh, and sloth tail and his little legs. But mostly it was tree branch added. So I got 200 stitches in on that. And then I switched over to Raccoon Rabble and Raccoon for Days. Like, that body is intense. Not intense, just full. And you can see this like modeling in there. It looks really neat. I did work on Little Raccoon. So I did 1 strand of body. And then I did this little color in his face. I didn't have that color pulled for my floss card. And so I I pulled that color since I'm home and it's a little easier to do, and I worked on it in his body, and then I parked it over here because it's going to be in this raccoon space too. And then I did a strand of body, and then I did this darker, a little like medium gray color in his body and down into this body because I had to pull it and put it on the card. And then I worked on more body, and then I worked on up here just a little bit because I only had a few stitches left. So yeah, it's looking good. All right, so those are my 2 Plum Street samplers that I have going. I have fabric for, I don't know, 2, 4, 6 more on this piece. So these will all look alike, unlike Fox View, which when I did Fox View, I wasn't planning on doing any of the others. And back then, didn't have ones like the raccoons and the sloths. Sloths is actually what made me break. Okay, so I got Fox View and I was like, this is the only one I want to do. I'm not really into land or sheep and cows and whatever. I really like the foxes. And so I did it on, I think I dyed the fabric. I pulled color and cottons. No, Victorian Motto sampler threads. I made it all personalized. And then Tired Trio came out and I was like, oh, I have to do the sloths. And so then, and now I'm like, I need to do them all. I've already started. And because when the raccoons came out, I had to have the raccoons because we used to own a raccoon. We had a pet raccoon for several years. And so I was like, I gotta do that one too. And so once I had 3 of them going, I'm like, you know what? I need them all. I need them all. I had a wonderful viewer here on Flosstube that sent me, I want to say 3 or 4 of them. I had a friend that sent me another one, I think. Anyways, I have a good majority of them now. I actually need to list them out and check them off and figure out what I still need. I know I need the hedgies that just came out. And that's another thing. Once the hedgies came out, I would have really been broken anyway because I have to. I like the more eclectic ones, I guess, rather than like the barnyard. But I do like the chickens because they're patriotic, and I don't know what about a patriotic aesthetic just draws me in. I say as I'm looking up at the flag on the wall. Anyway, so I worked on those, and I must have them all, and I will stitch as many of them as happens. All right, y'all, you ready? Are you ready? I'm so ready. I'm so excited about where Anzac is at. Okay, so you know when I originally started stitching on it, I started in the middle with the middle at, okay, backtrack just a little bit more. When I decided to do Anzac, I put it into my Pattern Keeper, and Pattern Keeper has this neat ability to create diagonal lines for you. And this is because some people in their hate stitching stitch in diagonals. I don't. I do diagonal blocks, but I'm talking full straight diagonals. I don't know anything about it. You'll have to Google it here on YouTube. There's some great tutorials. Some people absolutely love it. I park. It's not really my thing. I think you can park with it. Anyway, I digress. So it was set up to be able to assist people in those diagonals. So I put it on 20 stitches across, and then it would create the diagonal on both sides, 20 stitches. Okay, so then I said, and Long Dog Samplers, which is who makes Anzac, is they chart monochromatic. Everything is charted just black. So it leaves room for interpretation or creating whatever kind of masterpiece you want by changing either motifs or getting a variegated floss that blends as you go through. There's so many options. Not all of her stuff, but there are several out there. Because I was just thinking my Spangled is not like that. Again, digress. So once I put it in Pattern Keeper, I was like, I kind of want to make it different colors. And so I sat down and I pulled a bunch of colors, and I was like making them blend or whatever as best that I could. And I got some opinions from some friends on VS, and I tweaked it. And finally I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. And I counted how many diagonals it had it split into. And I want to say it was 12. Sounds like 12. And I said, well, what I kind of want to do is like have it color up, hit a color back down. So that would mean I need what? 6 colors. I couldn't settle on just 6. I think I came up with 8. No. 14, 12 diagonals. What was I thinking? It was 24 diagonals. I wanted 12 colors or something like that so that I could do that blend. I couldn't settle on, I'm saying this wrong again. Anyways, so what I did was a couple of the colors, I ended up doing 10 space diagonals just as a way to help blend. Anyway, I digress. So, when I started, I had one color in the middle, and then the colors on the outside of it were both the same. So I would do this side and then this side. So I was finishing a color and then move on to the next ones and the next ones. Well, here recently, because of having to do constant Q-snap moves, because the diagonals are smaller, I said, I'm just going to finish out this one side and then we'll go to the other side. So that's what you should be super excited about, because I got this whole side finished. Isn't it so awesome? I love it. Oh my God, I love it. This can be my screenshot. So now I'm working on this diagonal, and I should be able to fit the entire corner in the Q-snap, so I shouldn't need to move the Q-snap again. I have about 2,500 stitches left in this, not including backstitch, because Pattern Keeper does not do backstitch. So what I do is, after I finish a color, and I didn't do this every time, obviously, but so I have to go back in and add some backstitching. But when I finish a color, I will typically pull out my iPad and do the backstitching, and then go back to my Pattern Keeper for the cross stitching. But oh my gosh, y'all, that is so awesome. I could stare at it all day, just absolutely all day. So if you see, you know, you got a pretty good size chunk here and here, and then these are, it's half this color, half this color. Then 20, 20, 20, 20, 10, 10, 20, 20. Little more than 20 because the corner, I wasn't gonna, I mean, I guess I could have done a darker red for just this little piece, but I decided not to. So, it's so beautiful. All right, so that is all my whips for today. Yay! I'm just super excited about Anzac. We've got to, it's gonna be a finish this year. That's just inevitable. I would love for it to be finished in August. I think it's very achievable. We'll see. So there is that. What else? No finishes, obviously, no new starts. I'm doing really good at that. I have to say, I went into a year of no new starts with some friends as kind of a challenge to each of us. And I was like, I'm not going to make it the entire year. I'll play along, but let's be real. Mania's going to come around and I'm going to be ready to mania it up. Mania came around and I just wasn't feeling the fervor for it. And I know a lot of people felt more fervor for it this year because it closed after Mania. But for me, I still hadn't touched all, at the time, 59 of the whips that I had. So I was like, why would I want to start anything new when I can't even touch all of these? And so it was helping me stick with my no new starts. I have now touched all 59 once. I'm down to 57. I'm working on getting through a whole second set just between June and August. And And then I've also set a goal of trying to get 1,000 stitches on each of them this year. So I feel like until that happens, I don't really need a new start. So it's helped. It really has. It hasn't stopped me from kitting things. I don't know if you could see. No, just below this sewing box thing, there's a 3-drawer thing that has several things kitted. It hasn't stopped me from buying. Although I've slowed down on the buying, as y'all know. But I'm sticking with the no new starts thing. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I did get something in the mail today, but it's in the other room. I'll go grab it here in a second. And then, yeah. This is my craft room. It's still a mess, which is why I have not shown it off yet. I just, focus. I just can't really seem to figure out how to get it organized the best to be the most efficient. And so I'm constantly tinkering with it and changing things. And still, this one block here is just everything thrown in there. This one kind of is, but I know what's going on. I love my flosses though, or my fabrics, I mean. That fabric method that we spoke of before, that's really cool. Anyway. The desk you're on right now is my husband's. So I was like, if I film from over here, you could see all my goodies. We've got Miss Lily Daggerwing, which I stitched for my grandma Johnny, and never got to her before she passed last year. It's been just over a year. She passed in April of 2020 from a head injury, not from COVID. So I put her picture up in the corner and framed them together. This is a diamond painting that my daughter made for me. This is a fan from South Korea that Maggie sent to me in, I was in one of those ATC things. Or no, it might have been the Texas Stitchers swap. Anyways, and she also made me an ornament. It's 4th of July ornament. So when I start actually like rotating out seasons, it'll come out. Right now it's stored. This is a painting done by this grandmother. We used to go to a place called Painting with a Twist all the time, and I didn't go to this one with her. So I didn't already have the painting in my house, because the few that we've done, she had several, and my dad was like, take which one you want. Several of the ones she had, I already have in my house because I was with her and painted the same painting, because they teach you how to come up with this one picture. So this one was one that I didn't already have. Plus, with the way that you kind of get the moon rays coming down, it just reminded me of something celestial or heaven related. It made me think of mourning death, but yet being at solace with it. So I felt like it was what I needed at the time from her. So right here we've got my needle minder board. They're just kind of on there. These are my fancy flosses. We've got, let's see, this one is Weeks Dye Works. This one is Classic Color Works. And this one over here is Gassed, for sure. A DMC board. This is the bead pack for Garden Prelude. I have beads in, where are my beads? Beads are over here. Krynic in here. Some other specialty flosses like Victoria Mottos, and one of the rings is duplicates that I give away on my members only section. Yeah, so as you can see, fabrics, maybe see, let me see if I can break this down. We got a lot of patterns and stuff here. This is all like printer stuff. So it's my printer paper, my fancy papers, hole punches. This right now is just kind of a hodgepodge of stuff that needs to find a place. This is. Inside that Paris box though is a couple fully finished items so when I want to switch them out. That orange thing that goes in my tiered thing over here, but it's got flosses that need to go on bobbins. These are bobbins that don't fit on the board because I have too many of those colors for whatever reason. That little red thing has a bunch of scissors in it. These 2 bags are fabrics that I have cut that Lexi is going to dye at some point when she gets back to dyeing fabric for me. Down here in this corner that you cannot see at all is the stuff for the Cricut. The middle one has my fabrics from when I tried quilting. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that stuff, but I think it's going to have to move because I'm not going to go back to doing that. And then the other bottom corner I think has some computer stuff in it. Oh, and this, it's got like a box full of threads for the sewing machine and just my Scentsy, my beautiful Scentsy that my kids got me. And just randomness, there's my printer. So, and then the desk just has a bunch of stuff on it that needs to be sorted into those places. So there's my craft room, the long and short of it. I do have a big bookshelf over here. Right now, those are like spare spirals and stuff for school, sheet protectors, envelopes, just officey stuff. He needs to be repaired. I need to sew a hole shut. So as soon as I do that, I will have more space there. That's my graduation picture. A box of mementos. There's a few cross-stitch books and a crochet book, it looks like, over there. These binders all have patterns in them. It has printouts of digital patterns that I bought. And it has them and in sleeves. So if I don't want to try and go through my Google Drive, I could just flip through one of those binders. Excuse the mess, but I craft here. That was my Grandma Johnny's also. She was a crafter. She got me really into it. So I put that there. This is all my Happy Planner stuff and some cookbooks. And a binder of baseball cards. I don't know why that one's there, but we're still getting through all my dad's baseball cards, sorted between each of the boys. So this is our Magic the Gathering card collection. Here's where I have this shelf that you can't see is actual books that you can read. I'm still working on that because a lot of my books are still in storage. Right now, these are also have patterns in them. I'm not sure what yet I'm going to use to sort in here, but I've got that. And the bottom one has like finishing stuff. So what you can see is the spray glue. This is a bag of finishes that need to be fully finished. There's more pattern binders over here. It's not really organized yet, but it's just there. And then like, oh, my sewing machine and batting fabric and stuff like that is down in this one. And then over in that corner is like some office stuff, like a filing box and that sort of thing. So there's that. All right, I've really got to get ready for work now. Gotta leave in about 20 minutes. So I hope y'all have an amazing day, an amazing stitchy week, and I might be a little late next week. Like I said, I'm going out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm gonna be with some stitchy friends. Maybe we'll record together. We've done that before. But anyway, I hope y'all have an amazing day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm so sorry I forgot to welcome you. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back time after time. I hope you've seen something you really love here and helps you to stick around. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all the ways that you show you love me, and I will see y'all next week.